Hey, how's it going, guys? Jack and Matt here with the Toasty Bros, and today we're going to be partying together a $1,500 gaming PC.
And it's featuring some parts that you can't get, but you know what? It's still going to be an awesome build, and hopefully sometime in 2021 you can actually pick this thing up. But before we get into today's video, let's hear a word from today's sponsor.
Today's video is brought to you by Teamgroup.
If you're looking to upgrade your storage, then you should consider the MP33 Pro 512GB SSD. It is 4 times faster than a SATA SSD because it's M.2 and uses PCIe. It also has up to 2 terabytes in capacity and read-write speeds of up to 2100 megabytes per second and 1700 megabytes per second. With a 5-year warranty, you can't go wrong.
And for anyone on the go, don't worry, Teamgroup has you covered. They have the PD1512GB portable SSD, which is waterproof, dustproof, and on top of all of that, it is literally certified military-grade drop resistance. So honestly, if you're doing anything extreme, this is the perfect portable drive for that. It uses the latest USB 3.2 Gen 2 super speed interface.
Teamgroup is also hosting a December event where they're going to be giving away some products, so check the link in the description down below, and special thanks again to Teamgroup for sponsoring today's video.
So basically, this is a 10th Gen i7 build with a 6800. Now, everything in this build you can get. The 6800 is just the one kind of piece of the puzzle that's going to be hard. However, maybe by the time we post this video, they'll be more readily available, but I'm not going to get our hopes up.
So how about we go ahead and talk about each individual part, how it makes up this PC build, and get to building it.
So here, folks, we have the 10th Gen Core i7 10700K, which means it is an i7 that is 8 cores, 16 thread, and overclockable. And it's 10th Gen, so this is pretty cool. And you can actually get these. You can actually get the 9th and 10th Gen i7s, i5s, and i3s. Now Ryzen's a whole nother, yeah, not a good example, but Intel, they're setting a good example right now by being in stock. Now for RAM, we went a little bit cheap on this build. I mean, you could really fit 32 gigs or in a faster frequency, but this is 16 gigs, it's dual channel, 3000 megahertz and it's RGB, and it's gonna get the job done and work perfectly fine. But you know, if you wanted to on this board with this processor, you could go past 4000 megahertz, although we really recommend just peaking out at like 3600 megahertz because anything above that, you're just going crazy. Now for the motherboard, we decided to go with the Asus Prime Z490A. It's a very pretty board. It has a lot of white on it. It has some RGB built into it. It has the Toasty Bros logo actually encrusted where the CPU goes, which is pretty cool, and honestly, huge thanks to Asus for doing that for us. Now for the storage, you're probably wondering, what is this tiny little fella? Well, this is an M.2 NVMe SSD. It is 1 terabyte, 1000 gigs, and it's crucial. And honestly, these things are cheap. You can get them for under $100 at times. So not having cables and not having a big 2.5-inch SSD that you have to put somewhere, which is funny, it used to be hard drives were huge. Now SSDs in 2.5-inch form are huge. These are the new norm.
Now for the CPU cooler. For the 10700K, we went with the Darkrock Pro 4. Now at the beginning of this video, you might have saw a liquid cooler, and we quickly realized that that was not going to fit in our case that we used. So we decided to make it audible for the Darkrock Pro Air Cooler, which is all black, going to look super nice, and can definitely handle basically the TDP that 10700K is going to output. Way more than enough power than we need, and it's kind of minimalistic, so it'll kind of look cool in this very minimalistic case. Now for the graphics card. Special thanks to Power Color for sending over one of their very limited RX 6800s. This is an awesome card that a lot of people aren't able to get right now, but you know what? We're going to do a PC build with it, and hopefully sometime in 2021 you can actually pick this thing up. But it is an awesome card that competes directly with the 3000 series from NVIDIA. Comes with some awesome gaming performance and pretty much can max out any game you want and play at 4K if you want to. So we're very excited to use this thing and see how it pairs with the 10700K. And for the power supply, sorry, our contact at NZXT, we finally are using this. This is the C650, which is an NZXT power supply. It is a little bit pricey for, well, a 650 watt power supply, but it's one we had on hand. It's really well built, high quality power supply that's going to look really nice in this case. And well, it's from NZXT, so we got to give them a plug. Now for the case, our friends over at FSP sent over the CMT27IA, which is a mouthful of a name, but it is kind of a compact case. FSP has been releasing these like minimal cases for those who really don't care about all the fancy RGB and stuff. It's a very color neutral case that has, well, some decent airflow right here. We are going to be making it look really nice though, because you know what, we like RGB, with these MF120 GT fans from Deepcool. They were nice enough to send these things over. They have like a cool like design to them, so that's pretty cool. And of course, with all our cosmetic upgrades here on the channel, we normally don't factor these into the budget, but there will be a wide range of different RGB fans you can go with. Recommendations will be in the description down below. There are affiliate links, but we're excited to use these because Deepcool sent them over and it's been a while and they're on our shelves, so we might as well use them. So how about we go ahead and put this thing together while Jackson gets ready to turn over a tripod. Oh, we almost did it.
have this $1,500 gaming PC all put together, let's talk about some benchmarks real quick. Now, the pairing of the RX 6800 and 10700K kind of makes sense, even though it's a Team Red and Team Blue PC. But let's talk about some numbers. First up, in Warzone on high settings at 1080p, we got well over 140 FPS. The RX 6800 is an awesome card, and well, with this aftermarket design, it gets even better performance while staying really cool. I was very impressed with this power color variant because it does come with some really nice cooling on board compared to the reference design. Now, the reference design from AMD does a good job keeping it cool, but this thing was running like around 55 degrees Celsius when gaming, which is incredibly cool for a graphics card like this, let alone an aftermarket card. So I was honestly really happy, and the performance does speak for itself. The next game we decided to test was Fortnite, and on pro settings, which is epic view distance and everything else on low, we got a frame rate of over 300 FPS at 1080p. This is a great esports gaming PC that can also do some live streaming on the side, but it just goes to show you that Intel IPC in this situation is a really good option. The 10700K makes a lot of sense for games like Fortnite if you are playing on high refresh rate, and it does, well, make a lot of sense because it isn't stock right now. You can actually buy something like the 10700K as opposed to Team Red's offerings that do compete with it. So right now, Intel is kind of the good meta for new builds if you're not willing to wait for the newer AMD stuff to come readily in stock, which as of right now, I have no idea when that's going to happen. The next game we tested was Call of Duty Cold War, and on high settings at 1080p with all ray tracing disabled because ray tracing on these RX 6800 cards is not that great, we still got over 150 FPS playing the Nuketown map. Cold War has become a really fun game to play on this benchmark rotation, and it does perform similar to Warzone, so if you do play Warzone normally, you can kind of expect similar results to Cold War, but it is still a fun game to play, and it does look really good on high settings with this gaming PC. And last but certainly not least, we ran the built-in benchmark on Rainbow Six Siege at very high settings, and we averaged an FPS of 363. I think for the money, you're getting a ton of value here. Yes, the 10700K is a little bit pricey compared to what you could buy from Team AMD, but you really can't buy that right now. So the 10700K is really awesome, and that Dark Rock Pro cooler did a really good job keeping this thing nice and cool, and I was able to dial in a slight overclock on the CPU and still get some really good temperatures. If you're wanting a system that's really quiet and also performs very well, this build will be great for you. I was also very impressed with that FSP case, even though we had to really make sure that GPU fit. It was really close. We had to take out one of the front fans to make it happen, but it did fit nice and snug and looks super clean while doing so. So if you're looking for a minimal PC that can perform really well and has some awesome value for money, this definitely should be on your short list for your next gaming PC. So now we finished the benchmarking section of today's video. How about we going to bring Jackson back in here to wrap this video up real quick.
All right, guys, so as you could tell, this 6800 is no slouch in gaming, and this aftermarket power color card was actually running cooler than our CPU at times, which is really weird to see. Normally the graphics card is actually going to be hotter than the CPU.
The power color variant of this 6800 is actually really awesome, and I do think going aftermarket is the way to go. If you can actually get one, those regular reference cards from AMD are cool, but again, as Jackson mentioned, the temperatures were really awesome on this card. Even in a case that doesn't have like the greatest airflow, it still did really well, and I was very happy with the performance once again from the 6800. It's still a great card for those looking to get high performance in gaming.
And of course, the 10700K is, well, readily in stock for the most part. It's really hard to get any of the Ryzen stuff right now, especially that new higher end stuff. So going with this 10th-gen Intel processor was really a no-brainer for us. And honestly, Intel, when it comes to gaming, does do really well in comparison to AMD.
And overall, very happy with this PC build. I really liked how we managed to sandwich in this graphics card. It most certainly just barely fits, so do keep that in mind if you are going to try to replicate this build. But the compact nature of it is actually really cool, and if you're not somebody who's super into fancy RGB, I do recommend this case from FSP. It is very minimal, very easy to build in, and pretty good for the price.
So if you haven't already, don't forget to check out our other 2 YouTube channels, and also our twitch.tv/toastybros. And if you want to buy any of the parts in this, there will be an affiliate link in the description down below. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
And we'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye. Good luck getting this card. Hope you get it sometime in 2021.
Oh my God.